Okay, so after that first two interviews, this is Pupu Lal. The interview he said, yeah, and about what he has done in the past few months related with Pupu and yeah, everything actually related with Pupu, how he managed to, how he managed to, what is it? Go, how he managed to handle all the grief that came to him, and this is also Pupu's, according to him, first time in his life where he was forced to do the same interview
And
again.
by whom? By his favorite tupa,
Yeah,
Peter.
by me, favorite. So we've been talking to court at the so first question, Fu.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
I'm sure you'll know.
I'm all yours.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have your answers prepared. So you'll give very large answers and very detailed answers. When you first, when you first when you, yeah, when you first, I'll ask some more extra questions this time. When you went to Guwahati, did you ever think of visiting Pupu while you were there? Like,
Oh yes. All right. Uh, I was from Jorhat. I had a trip to Aizawl. We left on the 11th of September, and then finished everything by the 15th. So we landed here on 16th.
I see.
I'm talking about September.
Yeah.
And then I was very much with your Pupu and Pipi.
E.
And then from here, I went back to my headquarters, that is Jorhat, on the 19th of September, which means we had a good time together.
Yes.
And this was in September. And
So-
Pupu left for his heavenly place
In
in October.
October.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had visited your Pupu.
Yes. That is. Pupu has. Yeah. Pupu has unfortunately. Pupu has. It can be taken both unfortunately and fortunately. Unfortunately, he has left us, but also if we look at it in a positive way, he has fortunately ascended. He has ascended to where he wanted to be. He has went to where he wanted.
He is with his heavenly Father.
Father, yes, that one of his last requests were granted, that he was now be with his heavenly Father,
Yes.
which although is very painful for all of us.
Yes.
It would painful for all. It also brings great joy to us knowing that he is in a place where he wants to stay.
Yes.
And yeah, it makes sense. That's okay, Pupu. Thank you for that answer. So next question being, Humana. When you realized his health was deteriorating, like it was going down his side, did you have plans to visit him again in October or?
True. We had everything planned out. So after I reached Jorhat again on the 19th of September, next thing we did, we planned the next as early as possible, the next visit.
Yeah.
So we planned it so that we be here on the 7th of October. Perhaps the same day which you and your papa and mama are to land.
7th,
Same
nah,
day.
yeah.
Seven, 7 day itself we were supposed to reach.
Yes, but due to unforeseen
And-
circumstances.
and that too with Joel and Joseph to be with me. Yeah, all three of us have planned it.
Oh, I see. I guess. Poo, that's I want to ask something. Yeah, when Pupu in that little time you had in September, little time of September, what did you find most memorable from there?
No, he was as welcoming as always,
Yeah.
and health was already deteriorating. That was also true.
Yes.
No, we took the whole thing in our own stride,
Yes.
and because there's no point in torturing him with
Yeah.
questions where he need to make an extra effort to answer to our questions. So we were there, and we had our family altar
Yes.
as we always did. So things were not as they were before, because we knew his end will not be too far away. We were hoping that could it be in another 1 year,
But unfortunately, it would not be.
things were, I think, at what do we call it, at galloping speed. Things took its own turn.
Yes.
Yes. So if you ask whether we were prepared, we were expecting this end to come. But if you ask whether the end came much sooner than we expect, that is also true.
I see. You see, I think I also will say it in this way, and many other people, and including Pu Thatang, would say this way that everyone, all of us, including you, me, our family, everyone in the family, was the places they were in, during Pupu's accident was for a certain purpose, and were decided by God Himself, that our Lord Himself, right? That, for example, in your case, you can say that God decided, that to put you in near Assam, which is much closer to any other place, that we know of, that any Pupu is living in, much closer. So you could even reach by bus in time, on time. So, like, I do also think that that your that you staying in Assam was also completely pre-planned by God. So it would be so everything are the right place to right time, so penso na right place, you were at the right place at the right time. Do you also think that? That
Yeah, I'm very clear on one point, that simply nothing happens by accident.
that's all.
I see, maybe could be because of the age in which I am, could be because of the stage of my life in which I am. I have come to trust the Lord more and more. Maybe each passing day I trust Him more and more. And I see that there is the hand of God behind whatever has happened. Nothing accidental. No, because my Heavenly Father told me and said, this would be this, this would be this,
Yes.
this would be this. So I couldn't understand those things at that point of time. But later on, the whole thing fits into places.
As you grow or you get more knowledge.
With the passage of time.
You
So maybe looking back, that was exactly how it was. The whole thing was, the good Lord had planted in my mind, in our thoughts, that take this call, take this decision. And later on I realized that the whole thing fits into places perfectly.
Yes.
See, as His eldest son, I don't think it is my desire that he
should suffer more.
died now. In fact, I would love to prolong it as long as possible. But then I have a God who can overrule my thoughts anytime He wants. And He did it once again. So it came much earlier than we thought. But after the whole thing happened, we took a call because we want to pay our last respect to Him. That's how we rush.
Yes. Here's a question, like, while in your own grief, while dealing with your own grief, the that, for example, Joel and Joseph,
Yes.
Joel and Joseph must also have helped you a lot to help you, right? To help you, to just support you.
That is very true. Now I am almost, partly I am almost embarrassed, in which the eldest one have to be comforted by his own two sons. As a part. Because in fact they would have felt the same pain, but the very fact that they could comfort me was something very unique and to be appreciated.
I see.
Generally, you don't find the younger one comforting the elder.
One, yeah.
So this is something that is to be appreciated in my two sons,
It-
and they are Pupu's grandsons, and they thought they should comfort me, who happened to be his son. I think that is a big thing to appreciate here, Mumbai.
I'm sure that even not only you, man, Pupu adang te dong their sons helped him like Pupu Lu Hopile dong Jojo in ama dong ama
True.
help ya na ke to usa sang in dong Pupu
Sarah also.
usara in dong help pa to ke sa dong ke nu so help dong man ka u in dong ko la kamu comfort at her times of distress, yes, and grief, yes.
And we grieve in silence.
Yes.
We may not openly display our emotion,
Yes.
but your Pupu belongs to the Heavenly Father. And if his Heavenly Father calls him, who are we to disagree?
True.
Very straight and simple.
Sipu also I asked from Pu's Hata this question. That when you heard that that all of your family most of your family, all of your brothers and sisters were coming, Pupu Ting Ting, Pipi Ting Ting were coming. How much impact did it have on your how much boost did it give to your moral how much of a moral support did it provide, and how much moral boost did it give to you? What do you think in your case?
Maybe each of us as individuals, we took our own call here. It's not that one comes because the other is coming. No, wrong. Each individual take a call and take a decision. Let's try to make it work. That was how it was. Maybe to me, a great strength of this family is that we can come together in times of crisis as much as we can come together in times of celebration. And between the two, which one takes precedence over it? I think the crisis is where the family has the strength to come together, which is a very, very strong quality to be observed in any family, for that matter. Yes.
I see. Some, yeah, I guess so. This would be a question. On the way, when you were on the way to your journey,
Yes.
when on your way to your journey on the bus.
It wasn't a bus. We hired a vehicle.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Very, very costly one. It cost us a bomb
Okay, that.
to the tune of 18,000.
Oh my.
One way.
Yeah, that's I
So
guess
a very
overpriced.
expensive one.
But I guess seeing Pupu, getting to give your last respects to Pupu is worth more than anything else.
No regret. No regret. Every single pie is worth it.
Yeah, there is absolutely no regret, because think if you didn't want to buy the expensive car, the expensive ticket, then you would eventually regret it later, like that why didn't I book it before. So this time you had little to no regret completely.
Come what may, we took a call, we took a risk, and the good Lord respect that decision of ours.
Yes.
Otherwise, making it all in one piece, so many in the family, is simply not possible. You can see here again, but for the hand of God behind this, simply not possible.
Poo, you, yeah, as you know that you are the eldest son in your family, yes, right?
Yes.
As everybody knows probably here who's listened to this, you're the eldest son in your family, so you're as a kind of like you're also like a father figure to all of your smaller brothers and sisters, right?
Yes.
Yes, and also you can act like as a replacement, not a perfect replacement, but a figure,
your grandpa would be irreparable,
irreparable,
irreplaceable.
irreplaceable.
But I can make an effort to,
You can make
an
not,
effort to
yeah,
see hold the ground.
yeah. Like it may not be perfect, but you're
No,
doing,
no, he is unique. He is distinctive in his own
yeah.
way. But you can say a new era has begun.
Yeah, that also. So, in during that time, Somana, so you were like kind of since Pupu passed away, unfortunately. So then, mm, as as a father, as kind of like a father figure to each of your brothers and sisters, what did you think you had to do? Like, what did you think you have to do in that time, at that moment?
No, I'm no more young.
Huh?
I'm no more young. I am fairly
Yeah, that.
correct one. Perhaps the calmness that is required to overcome this period, and then the patience that we need to display and acknowledge that a new era has started.
Yes.
So there is no point in being influenced by what happened in the past. The past is yesterday is all gone.
Yes.
Yesterday is all gone.
That's
We're
no
talking
going
about
back.
today. We're talking about tomorrow.
Hmm.
But there is something very comforting. Your Pupu is a very unique personality. He has his own sons, daughters, and then he has his own grandchildren, of which you happen to be
Part
a
of.
part of it, as
Yes.
much as Angeline is.
Yes, yes.
So now I sense that the younger generation will take over in a much better, greater way than my generation could, which is quite encouraging and comforting. So I see a great future ahead of us,
Yes.
but that will be conditional. I say conditional because the way one connects with the God of your Pupu will be number one. The
Yes.
way we maintain our healthy relationship will be another.
Yes.
And then individually, each of us have to be very clear on how we take our life forward. I think very conditionally, the ifs and less of the buts will be required here.
I see. Fu. Then, Poo, I wanted to ask, out of, well, I'm not trying to compare them, right? I'm not trying to compare them, but out of, in the WhatsApp, there came an overwhelming amount of messages on about condolences to Pupu and people missing Pupu,
Yes.
giving a few words of their own too, a few words of their own about Pupu and how they miss him.
Yes.
Which one do you think hit you the most? Hit you would be, yeah, I guess. Which one do you think? If
Yeah, to be very frank, the one from Sarah,
yes,
Trivandrum, Sarah, where she says, Pupu, we agreed that we'll meet in Christmas and New Year time. That was to me very, very, very touching. I said touching because in very simple words, those words express many people's thoughts within the burial plan.
even yes,
But then the end was destined to come, no matter what.
yes,
So I think that was the most touching. And then a lot of my friends also send their condolences.
yes.
Enough beyond number.
Oh,
And in fact, from 5:40 p.m. The news got viral so much that there were some who called me, there were some who sent WhatsApp message and very touching ones. But I know where your Pupu is going, so who am I to disagree? And I
Yeah.
see this thing, his death, as a change of geographical context in which he operates. he was on earth, now he is in heaven.
And yes.
And two is, this thing is required for the enlargement of his influence.
Yes.
Now people can say, oh, of course, sad part is everyone have to talk in past tense. So that is the part.
Now that message Urechal, now that you described it, who also represented my thoughts and Mama's thoughts, and even Mama's thoughts and Papa's thoughts, all three of us and many other people
And
who are
she
not
did it
able
so
to meet Pupu.
beautifully,
Yeah,
agree.
like in such simple words, it described what it described it so simply that it described it so simply and was so complete that
Yes.
it was almost perfect. But again, nothing is always perfect.
I
Nothing is
read
perfect.
it. We were on the way. We were on the way means we left at 8 p.m.
Yes.
from Jorhat, Assam.
Mm-hmm.
So on the way means I think this must have come close to around 11:45 or
11:45.
11:45 or 11:50 when I read it. Then I hold on, I look on, and I allow my tears to freely flow down my cheek. I did not even bother to wipe them off because there are times when you have to let out your emotions. I did, and the driver was sitting next to me in the front. He must be wondering whether something serious. But then
Yeah.
he never asked. I never told him also. Not required. Yes, that was beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, even my mother here, she was very, very excited and very excited to meet Pupu after finally 2 years and 10 months. And even she had told me and my sister many times that one of my only wishes is that currently is that one of my wishes is that I want to meet with your Pupu man, your Pupu Ning Sachin. I want, because he's currently, his health is going down, slowly dying, and as I'm saying this in my mom's word, as we don't know when will the Lord take him above. That's why, while we still have the opportunity, we can try. That's why when we booked our 7, I also was constantly telling her that finally we'll be able to go because
Your wish will be fulfilled.
yeah, your wish will finally be fulfilled, but alas, that didn't happen. But that didn't happen. Like that, even the best we could do was change after Pupu fell down and was injured for an hospitalized for a while. Till then, also even we tried to get the fastest route as possible on the next day of his his fall, but when we were about to board, a taxi was coming to pick us up to the airport. We were yeah, in the airport. That's when around precisely 5:38 the call came that Pupu had passed away, and yeah, uh, our hopes were shattered. Yeah, at that point, but all at mm, at first, although like as every Pupu here said, oh man, like all of you said in comment that every Pupu here in comment said that one thing you all had in common was that you all agreed that oh man, that this Pupu's death, oh man, was decided by God and nobody could argue with it.
No.
Nobody can argue with it, or will never be able to
And the
argue.
good Lord need not consult us
Yes.
in this matter.
Yes.
It's His call.
Yes.
Because your Pupu belongs to Him.
Yeah, so without question, you just have to accept the fact.
Yes, it's a fact, and
and it can never be changed.
It's a reality of life. He goes where all men and women have to.
Then
Maybe one last question.
yeah, I'll ask 3 more questions. I'll ask a few more questions I had in mind. The old questions also that I asked before also. You see, although there is there's this prejudice that stereotypes that boys shouldn't cry, and da, da, da. But that really didn't matter actually.
Does Pupu cry? Yeah.
Yeah, he does cry.
Let me respond to that. I'm 61 years old. So for me, I'm more happy when I have tears in my eyes. It's very humbling when your tears flow down. And then, two, it makes you very vulnerable as a human being, which is perfectly all right with me. And three, I don't take crying as a weakness. No. In fact, there's more strength in crying than there's a weakness in crying. So maybe I'm more than happy because tears always cleanse your soul. So you need it to bring you back to where you really belong. Yes.
Yeah. Fortunately, Joel was just home and in nang tolong Oman, I guess they
No,
although for most of the part Oman you handle it on your own Oman they also
yes, there is
a minor
something to be added here.
yes
Joel and Joseph says, "Pa, you rush.
yes
You need to be for the funeral." But then their mother in Mumbai connect with them quickly
yes
and say, "Guys, you better get dressed up. Be with your papa in this time of bereavement." So they were convinced by their mother, not by me, and they were all ready to go. So it's not that Pupu initiates everything. I make a call, took a decision, and then the twins, Joel and Joseph, are with me. But the Mumbai headquarters, where Joy and your PP are there, they were also behind the whole thing. So it's a decision jointly taken by all five of us.
Yeah, I see.
You can give credit to your PP for convincing the twins.
That actually,
I did not. They were ready, but after a talk with their mother in Mumbai.
I guess sometimes we need people's help also at times like always like many people take many for some reason I have never been able to many people take like I get it when you're always taking help then that's bad like that's a sign of dependence but when you're like when you really need the help and when you think you can need it then it's not wrong to take help at that time.
No, see even the age in which we live in,
yes,
wise man says it's an age of networking and collaboration. Now, what does this mean? It means that we better collaborate and come together. Because so many things in this planet now are beyond the reach of a single individual.
Yes.
You have to really come together and collaborate.
But if it is it may be beyond a reach of a single individual, but when we work collectively, we can do many things.
And many people may be reluctant to take this other people's help. No.
Yes.
No, wrong. I don't belong to that group. I would freely take anyone's help.
Like even in many groups also that it's said that when you take help from someone, it means that you are showing that you are weaker than them, which it doesn't make sense to me until now. It has never made sense to me.
No, there is I think no issue here for me because I know what I am made of, whether I am weak or strong. But this certainly is a wrong perception.
Yes.
There is nothing like weak or strong, whether it is mentally or even emotionally.
Yes.
See, in times of crisis, accept that it's a crisis situation.
Yes.
And then take a call accordingly, appropriately.
Yes.
And at this point of time, even the expenses, the costs are not an issue. We will do it.
Since we all can together with help, yes, I get that. That also put then I would like to ask you two more questions. Just two more questions.
First one.
First one is that okay, when you first enter your room, man,
Yes.
even according to everyone else, it was a very gloomy place at that time. A very gloomy moment, very gloomy atmosphere to be at that moment.
Everyone was grieving.
Everyone was grieving. Pupu, I saw. Although I wasn't there, I saw through the photo that Pupu's coffin was here and with his body. Everybody had gathered around him.
Motionless.
Motionless. Yes.
And so everyone's surrounding was in a grieving mood.
Yes.
Ready to burst out crying.
But they didn't burst out crying. They
did.
Yes. I mean, it's not wrong to burst out crying. Obviously not. It's not wrong to burst out crying. But I guess it's on the person and how he wants to look. I mean, at this moment, certain moments, nobody will mind you for crying. Like,
I did not.
yeah.
I did not openly display my emotion.
Yeah.
In fact, with Joel and Joseph, we spread the soul over your Pupu's coffin, and we did it so well. It's one of the best pictures I have seen in recent times. It's a great picture. That very scene of three of us, three warriors spreading their coffin over a dead warrior who is someone whom the three look up to. Yes.
Okay, one more question, Poop. Okay, yeah, okay. There are two more questions now left. How would you describe Pupu when you?
Okay. No,
You can describe it in any way you want, since this is a very wide question that has multiple answers.
No, your Pupu is one person who knows who he is. Very clear on that. Now, especially related to God, he knows who is his master.
I see.
That he is not only a servant to God, that he is a slave to God. And he is very clear on who his master is. And he knows where he is going, very clear again. And he knows that in life, that's the way it is. So, very strong personality, a man of principle, and really love the Lord, and I think that took precedence over every other thing. He's very clear on that. Now, if you ask how is he as a father, I did learn so many things from him. And how is he in the way he takes his children's progress in life? Oh, wonderful. Couldn't do better than that. But all human beings will have their own limitations and failings, which are in essence more minor than measure.
Yeah.
So he is one person who did everything almost right.
Since we're all not perfect and we're all sinners,
Almost
right.
We
can never be. Yeah. So
now the last question.
The last question is rather a personal question that comes from my heart. Is that
sure.
You see, Pupu Siam joked that when I come eventually to Inlam, when I enter the gate, I should come crying, So that's the joke. I thought he was joking at first, and I was like, nice joke, Poo. Then he's like, I'm not joking. I'm serious. You have to cry. So then, So after that, when I entered, I don't know why I seriously expected, that everybody would still be grieving Pupu, and the atmosphere would be really, really gloomy still. Because it had been like maybe 3 days after his death, 3 or 4 days after. No, 2 days after his death. Sorry, my bad. 3 to 2 days after his death. So then, when I entered, I actually found the exact opposite of what I expected. I found a place. I found a place here full of joy and talking. Everybody, not. I mean, not that everybody. Not that everybody is completely happy. Like, of course, everybody was deep in their hearts. They were saddened by the sudden death of Pupu, expiration of Pupu. But in the our exterior, most of the part, they were. What I noticed was the Pupus were very relaxed and were very were ready to talk. Usually, I'm saying ready to talk because usually when a person goes through grief, he usually prefers to be alone. Although it's not or not everyone, but generally. So, so yeah, till then. So then when I entered and everybody was willing to talk also, and although deep in their hearts they knew that Pupu was gone forever. They had accepted the fact, and they had accepted the fact that Pupu was gone, and had now had a sudden change their mood to a more non-gloomy atmosphere. So how do you think that this change slowly took place? Yeah.
Okay. Pupu died on the evening of the 2nd. That should be Saturday.
Yeah.
And then we were here on the 3rd.
Yes.
So
Correct.
which means 4th, Monday,
Yes.
5th, 6th. That means you came only after 3-4 days.
3-4 days. Yes.
3-4 days. Now, in any case, our approach here was we were celebrating Pupu's life.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't use the word happy.
Happy.
There was nothing to be happy about.
Yeah, not
But
exactly.
we were
happy.
celebrating his life,
Yes.
whatever he has achieved. He lived a full life.
Mm-hmm.
So, now if you have, as advised by your Pupusiam, started crying from the gate,
Yeah.
maybe partly we will appreciate it, but it was something not very appropriate.
Appropriate. Yes.
So you couldn't because there's no one crying and then suddenly
Yes.
you crying
It would just be odd.
because it wouldn't even be good acting.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be good acting because it wasn't required.
Yeah.
Right now, if you had arrived on Sunday itself,
Yeah.
that could be appropriate.
That would be appropriate.
But on 4 days after that, when the dead body no more here, so won't fit.
It won't.
Yes.
Okay, I get
So
it.
I believe your Pusiam has a great sense of humor. At the same time, advice was great, but it wasn't very appropriate. 4 days later on.
Yeah. I guess. I
So
see.
the context was different.
Yeah.
So great advice, but difficult to follow.
Difficult to follow indeed. Okay.
And
Oh,
she-
sorry. Yeah, that's where my question finishes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, are you going to continue, or are you done? Are you finished?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Please, can you please continue if you're not finished yet.
No, we are true. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Now last thing, you can ask me as many questions as you want, but at least 3 minimum questions.
No,
3.
I would say we, as your pupus, we thank you for coming.
Okay.
And thank you for coming to feed. Yes.
All
So
right.
in this time of crisis,
Yes.
so good to have you around.
Mm-hmm.
And from the time we met, I think you have really grown, much taller,
Yes, I'm sure.
beautiful hands,
Yeah.
and all the other parts of the body also becoming better and better.
Yeah.
So overall, we say thank you.
I'm also grateful for all of you being till now have made my trip here very enjoyable, and
You're welcome.
and you have all made an example for me and everybody else that uh, you should grieve. Sure, you should grieve, but
Silently.
silently.
In
Like you should,
silence.
like you should not be loud and open and like big fuss out of it, basically. And yeah,
Correct.
that's actually what you taught me, and at times of and how to accept death, how to accept loss.
See, in life we need to accept the ground rule
Yes.
and let off your emotion, but let us not overdo it.
Yes.
Need to be mentally and emotionally strong.
Well, Apu, thank you for giving me your precious time.
And you're welcome.
Okay, well, thank you, Fu.